What's up? Join me if you're around to get in on this amazing call. Call this live. So, what I want to share with you all is 3 ways you can start to make massive changes in your life today. So many times we think change takes a long time and there's all these steps, and maybe there's even some secret formula that we don't have access to, but there is no secret formula, but there are things you can do right now, today, to make those changes that you desire in your life. And that's what I'll be sharing with you. And I did put a link to book a call with me. So as I go through these, if you're noticing this is resonating and you're like, yeah, actually, I would like some support on this journey of making changes, because it's not easy and it's not always fun. And sometimes it can be scary. And it's nice to have a guide who has been there and can lead you along the way, walk beside you, so that you get to where you most desire to go in the least amount of time possible. So check that out as well. So the first step, or the first key to help you as you start to think about wanting to make some changes, and so this could be in areas of finance or business, it could be relationships or health, any area where you feel like you have been wanting to make changes and it just hasn't happened, and it's putting you in this spiral. Hi, Martika. Hi, Michael. So nice to see you. So the first thing to do is to recognize what is the lie or the illusion that you're living under. So, how you like my hair? Michael did my hair yesterday. So thinking about if you are perhaps you're experiencing some scarcity, and that could be scarcity in relationships, not having the relationship that you desire. It could be scarcity around money or business, or it could even be scarcity around your fitness and health, not having the body or the energy that you desire. So notice where you are sensing lack or not really experiencing what it is that you desire, and understand, being willing to look for what is the lie that I'm believing, that there's not enough good men, there's not enough good women, that all relationships end in disaster, that people won't buy my services, that people won't buy if I increase my rates, that I can't have an amazing body because I've had kids. So many ways that we block ourselves from creating what we truly desire. And a lot of the times we are buying into a lie because it feels safer. It feels safer to say there's not enough clients or not enough good people to date, or that it's, my body just changed after I had kids. And none of that needs to be true. It's all a way that we keep ourselves safe and keep ourselves stuck, honestly. And when we stay in that cycle of stuckness, we stay beneath our potential, and there's always this sense of something missing. So we start to spiral downward into negativity and thinking something's wrong with us, and why aren't we good enough, and why can't we figure this out? So none of it actually is safe, because it actually creates a lot of self-loathing, which leads to depression, which costs way more money than getting the help that you desire to make the changes that you desire, and facing the fears that are holding you back from being the person who has what they desire. So the first step is, what are the lies or stories that you're believing about what is possible for you or what is not possible for you? Because the lie is what you're believing is not possible for you, because that's not true. Everything that you desire is placed within you because it is possible for you. It is what has chosen you to go through what you need to go through the process of achieving that desire to become the person you're truly meant to be. So the key here, though, is it's not as simple as just, okay, so that's the lie, what's the truth? Obviously, it's important to acknowledge what is the truth. The truth is there are plenty of clients for you. There's plenty of money for you to create. There's more than enough perfect people for you to date. Your perfect body is already within you. And so, but the key here is, if you just say that and you don't actually believe it, you're still going to have more power within the lie than within the truth. And so you have to be in a place where you are emphasizing and believing is key, the truth much more than a lie. So you're amplifying the truth. So much so, it becomes just like your name. Of course this is true for me. That's who I am. And so getting to that place where the truth really is who you are, and that actually is who you are. But a lot of times we have to get rid of the lie and release its power over us and give more power to the truth. Okay, so that's the first step. The second step is really thinking about, often we have our whole identity caught up in the struggle, caught up in being the person who always has failed relationship, caught up in the person who's always struggling financially. How many people do you know that have, like, year after year after year, it's the same story of struggle, whether that's finances or relationships, or they're always trying to lose the same 5 pounds? Because that has become their identity. And who would they be without that story? They don't know. That's all they know. And often this story has been rooted in them from a very, very young age. So for me, for example, a lot of some of the lies that I had was I had to play small, I had to hide, because in my family system, that was the role I took on. My sister was kind of the out in front making noise and kind of the personality, and I was the one that kind of the observer and watching and kind of seeing what's happening, and so I took on that role of kind of being behind the scenes, and that was my identity, and that was what felt safe at the time in my family, and that's who my family started to associate me as. And so being able to break out of that identity and create my true identity, which is a person who is the opposite of that, is a person who plays big, who goes big, who shows up, who is a performer. And that's can be kind of scary to think about doing the exact opposite of your identity that you've clung on to, and that the identity that has clung on to you for most of your life. So the key here is to identify where this identity started, what purpose is it serving, because if you are experiencing lack in some way or scarcity in some way in your life, it is because there is a desire attached to that, because we only experience what we desire. And so I had to become vigilant about this and become brutally honest with myself that I was getting off on being broke and suffering and struggle, that there was a part of me, of course, that was a masochist, and so that derived pleasure from the suffering. And being able to acknowledge that without shame and just say, yeah, that's part of me. And I remember a story actually from high school, this came up recently, talking to a school counselor and telling her it was my senior year and I wanted to run cross country, and I also wanted to play volleyball. It would have been my 4th year playing volleyball, and so the schedules lined up perfectly that I could do that. And she looked at me and said, with judgment, like I felt her judgment, she said, "Wow, you're really a masochist." And not with a sense of that's impressive, but a sense of you're crazy. And I took that on, I internalized it and thought, uh-oh, there must be something wrong with me being a masochist. I never really thought that was a bad thing, but it must be a bad thing because look at this judgment coming from this woman. And so I suppressed that part of myself, even though that was a true desire. And so that came out and manifested in creating suffering in my relationships in the past and struggling with business and all kinds of ways because I wasn't allowing myself to have that desire expressed in healthy ways. And also just denying that was a part of me and being ashamed of that part of me instead of acknowledging there's nothing wrong with that and letting that part of me come out. And so that's the same for you, is looking to see where is that element that's been stuck and maybe someone shamed you for that part of your identity. And so you suppressed that part of you and now it's manifesting in different ways that is not actually serving you. And so it's acknowledging the old identity, acknowledging parts of your identity that were shamed and bringing it out. And the key here is taking on the true identity. So the identity of you that shows up boldly, that creates all that they desire, that is a person that is not ashamed of who they are and what they want and what they're creating, and that acknowledges all that they desire is actually all around them. Okay, so number three. So as we've done this, right? So we've discounted and renounced the lies. We're relinquishing the old identity that was attached to the old way of being, which no longer serves you, but did serve you in the past, so acknowledging it did play a role for you, but you no longer need it to play that role. Then the third part is to create the experience of your desires as if you already had realized them. And the cool thing with this is you start to see you can create the experience now of what you desire. So going into that place of, okay, what will it be like once I have consistent clients, once I raise my rates, once I have my ideal partner, once I have my ideal body, what will I feel like? How will my life change? How will I change because of this shift in my identity and taking on the truth of who I am? And letting yourself feel that now. So giving yourself that full experience of having achieved your desires right now is huge, because it changes your brain, it changes your biology. And so all of these steps, when you do them consistently and with full belief in them and in yourself and what you desire and creating what you desire and knowing that what you desire is possible, you're changing your brain, you're changing your biology, which ultimately, of course, changes your life. And these are not complicated things. Of course, they're not always easy, but it is simple and it is accessible to everyone. So, to recap, renounce the lies, first meaning you have to acknowledge what the lies are, solidify your truth, and ensure that you actually believe it 100% no matter what. This is true for you. Second step is to relinquish your old identity and to acknowledge what role that identity played and that you no longer need it to play that role. Also to bring out the parts of your identity that were shamed and let them have space and know that they're a part of you, but they're not all of you. So you don't need to have them running the show anymore. And then the third step is create the experience of your desires realized right now. In every moment you can do this. This is the power that you have. So I know that change can be scary, but it is ultimately what we're here to do, is to challenge our old belief systems and to step into the person we are meant to be, not the person we were born to be. So I was talking to a client and she was saying, what really helped was having the structure in the space to challenge her old way of thinking and being and the way she was blocking herself, and to have that perspective of someone kind of there to call her out on the continuation or perpetuation of the lies and the way she's keeping herself stuck. And where that started was making the investment in herself. And that is the biggest thing she said was, when I invested in myself, I started to see I had value and worth. And so part of making change is understanding it's scary. Making an investment in yourself is scary, but also acknowledging you have worth and value, and sometimes we're suppressing that, and having a guide along the way to help you bring that out and realize that and take the steps necessary with support on the path to what you desire, to realize what you desire in a much bigger way, is invaluable. And every time I've invested in myself, it has been worth it. I have learned something, I have grown, I have been challenged. I have changed. There's just no doubt in my mind I have changed. So if you are interested, book a call with me so that we can get on this trail and I can be your guide and begin this journey to the person you're meant to be. And that person could be the person that has consistent clients, that has consistent business, that raises their rates in their business, that has not only an amazing business, but has freedom and has fun and has impact. Because a lot of times I see people that have created an amazing business and they're working. Talked to a woman this morning who was working from 5 a.m. to 7 o'clock at night. That is not what you desire. I'm almost 100% guaranteed you do not desire to be working from 5 a.m. to 7 o'clock at night. And so it's creating your business to be a reflection of you, and it's creating a business that supports you instead of you having to support your business. So there's a link to connect with me. So give me a call, give me a shout, book a call with me, and let's get you on the right path. cool. If you have questions, of course, post them below. And if you're watching this on the replay, let me know your thoughts, and I look forward to connecting with you.